Seahawks, and thank you for joining us for another Student Live. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them right down below. And if you can, go ahead and take a minute to share this stream with someone in your social network who you feel could benefit from today's segment. And so today, we are actually closing out our Meet the Trustees series. So let's go ahead and introduce you to today's special guest.
Stephanie, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today and to meet all of you virtually. My name is Akhil Agrawal. I think I am the newest trustee with probably, less than probably a few months in at this point, and wanted to excited to introduce myself to you and to want to get to know as many of you as we can, and really enjoying learning about Broward College and all the amazing things that happen here.
Awesome. We're so excited to host you today. And like I said, well, actually you mentioned one of the newest members of the board. So I'm curious to know, very unique time for you to jump on. How's 2021 going so far?
Well, Steph, as you know, all things COVID, right? 2021 is all about the COVID experience. So let's see, what can I tell you guys about 2021? Well, it's the first time I'm wearing a suit in 2021. For somebody for 25, maybe I'm being kind to myself, for 30 years, has always worn suits every day, right? That's a definite change in the world. Let's see, what else is interesting about COVID? I've learned to be really, really fast on the trigger finger. So of course my kids play video games, but I've never really pictured myself as being fast. But every time the dog starts barking, to how fast I can get to the mute button is pretty amazing these days. And that's gotten faster through COVID. And probably on a more serious note, probably the most interesting thing in COVID is really learning about other people and people learning about us, because many of us are working from home, or at least part of the time we're working from home. It's very interesting, right, to see people's, to see their kids, to meet their children, and all the things that we do in family life that have historically been shielded from our professional lives. And it's kind of fun in COVID to watch all of that blend together. So yeah, it's been an interesting 2021, Stephanie.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you. I think that people have really enjoyed looking at my hutch for the past year. So this is all part of our new environment that we're working in. But we'd love to get to know you a little bit more. So can you tell us a little bit about how you discovered your passion in life?
So before we get to that, can I just, it is a wonderful hutch. I almost asked you if that was a fake background or not when we started, but I didn't. So now I know it's real. So passion in life, really good question. So what I would say is very accidentally. So not all of us know at the beginning sort of what we want to do, right? And so I had the privilege of, right, I'm a product of a public school education. I had the privilege of going to University of Florida for undergrad, right? And I joke around, and I hope my children don't see this because it'll take away any advantage I have to push them to do their homework, right? Right, so I started in pre-med and realized that wasn't for me, right? And then went to engineering and realized that wasn't for me. Right, and then went to computer science, right, and again, these were all sort of expectations, and right, it's the joy of having options, right, and so then I went to then I studied the philosophy and religions for a while until I realized that was not a way to have any sort of gainful employment unless I was planning on being a professor and going through a PhD program, which by the way, I'm in a PhD program now. At this ripe old age, have gone back to school to do a PhD. And so realized at that time, right, that sort of none of those were sort of for me, and found my true love in finance, and really went to the business college, and I guess it was really my third year that there was a professor that just was amazing, and he was thoughtful, and he was kind, and he was mean all at the same time. And really got me to care about finance. And I enjoyed learning from him. I enjoyed the challenge of doing research for him. since then been a finance guy through and through and enjoyed the heck out of it. So not everybody sort of finds your passion in the beginning. Sometimes it's a little bit of a convoluted journey. And for me, it was a multi-stop journey, to put it mildly.
It actually sounds ironically that you had a very traditional college experience in this sense. I want to say the national average for students to change their majors throughout their 4-year degree program is still somewhere around 6 or 7 times. So it just sounds like I said, very traditional type of an experience, trying to, like I said, navigate that journey and what you're supposed to be doing in life. But is there a particular memory that maybe stands out from your college experience?
Sure. Let's see. So that's a really, really good question. So college memory, right? What I would say is the thing that stands out in my mind, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, right, was when I did find that the thing that was really interesting to me, right, is when I got to the business school and really found a finance professor, right, that was willing to take me under his wing and just take an interest in the things that I was interested in. And what I thought was sort of what stands out to me about this professor, right? And I would say, right, and I think it's the mark of great educators, is he found a way to make things that were interesting to me are relevant in the subject matter, right? And so when we were doing budgets, right, my budget at the time was $400 a month, right? So literally $400 a month. So I was waiting tables, bussing tables, tending bar, right, doing all those things. And it was interesting, right, to when we were doing sort of sensitivity analysis on finances as to how, he was able to tie things back to me. So what I would say is, well, it's probably not an exciting way to sort of describe it. It was the moment in which sort of in my college career, I went from being I'm here because I have to get an education. I think it's the thing that's going to get me to the next stage in life, to being something that I'm keenly interested in. And it was really that professor, I think, that made the difference.
That's awesome to hear. I think, like I said, because that's almost like our hope and prayer for a lot of our students is the aha moment, that defining moment that you picked the right career path or you picked the right program based on, like I said, what is that dream job that you want to do moving forward. So it sounds like that faculty member had some great influence on you. Is there anybody else throughout your career that's really served as an inspiration?
Boy, you like to ask hard questions. So yes, absolutely, absolutely, right. So I would say my hero is my dad, my father. He's it's an incredible story. I'm a first generation immigrant. We came over to the U.S. Right, I was still in school when we moved to the U.S. and right, an incredible journey, right, in terms of right, we came from very, very humble beginnings, right. My father, the family, my father was grew up in a village in which the sort of the highest education level was for what would be equivalent in the U.S. of maybe a 5th grade education. Moved away, stayed with education and was committed his life to learning. Ended up getting PhDs and multiple master's degrees and multiple bachelor's degrees, a law degree. Became a UN development guy, right? And but every time, right, I think about how lucky and how fortunate we are, right? And every time I'm tempted to waste an opportunity, I think about the fact of how much, right, my father, my hero, sacrificed for us to have the opportunity to be here, right? And it's a level of motivation that's hard to explain, right? But right, if I can touch 100th of the number of lives that my father has touched in his life and made better, right, it would have been a life well worth living. So yes, I would say, right, probably right. I don't know that it's just professional, but I would say sort of life influences. Right, my dad by far is my hero and the one that sort of guides my thinking more. As much to the positive as to the negative, where I want to sort of goof off and not do something. I think, gosh, I wouldn't want to waste all of that effort and that energy. So anyway, so it'd have to be my dad, definitely.
That's awesome to hear. And honestly, hopefully, like I said, not only just in your, like you said, 25 to 30 years of finance experience, but hopefully now with your experience with Broward College, you will get that opportunity, like you said, to touch as many lives You said your dad has. So what exactly led you to us?
So to Broward College,
Mhm.
that's a great question. So Broward College has the ability to touch 60,000 lives. And to be fair, as I was moving from into sort of semi-retirement, from a day-to-day operating role of running a company to sitting on boards and being an investor, which is what I do today. Right as I was making that pivot, and just happened in at the end of May of this past year of 2020, and we're thinking about how to make a difference, right? So, spending a lot of time with our family foundation, and our family foundation's focused on primarily on healthcare and education, and what I thought was amazing about Broward College, right, is that we have 60,000 students here, right, and I look at it as 60,000 opportunities to transform lives of young people, of middle-aged people, of old people, right? It's an amazing, amazing number of touch points that we have. And I would venture to say probably the organization that I think transforms more lives than anything else. And not to say there's not lots of worthwhile organizations in Broward County and in South Florida. But I think that this is the one that really attracted me because of the impact that it actually has in the lives of people that my neighbors and people that I live next door to.
Absolutely. It's that community piece, right? Almost like a time to give back. And what better way to do that than your neighborhood, so to speak. So it's really awesome to hear. I'm glad, like I said, that our organization's mission is, it stands out. It speaks to you in a sense. So that's always awesome to hear. You have had, though, lots of different experiences in your lifetime. I am sure there are pieces of advice you could easily pass on to our students. So anything from your professional or personal journey that you can share with our Seahawks.
Sure. So first of all, I've never viewed myself as somebody that's good at dispensing advice. So I want to put that out front, so that everybody. So what I would say is, right, I've never regretted, right, investing in bettering myself. Right, the only regrets I've had around education is when I said, I'll circle back to it. I can do that another time. Right? Because I'm always amazed at when I take the time and go to learn something, right? The benefits are not just immediate in that subject area, but are multifold in all sorts of other areas that I never anticipated. So I've never regretted investing in myself in terms of education or growth, right? What I would say is that the fact that you're listening to this program suggests that you're one of our students, and that please, right, don't waste the opportunity. Take advantage of every bit of what Broward College has to offer. You will get out of it what you put into it, and it will absolutely transform lives. And quite frankly, it's the reason that I wanted to serve as a trustee, and the reason that I think this is such an amazing institution.
I think that is excellent advice, and I couldn't agree with you more, because from my own personal experiences, the only regrets that you ever have are like the ones you didn't take. And so, there's no harm ever, I think, in pouring time and energy and effort into your own development. And I like that's at the crux of what we do as an institution of higher learning. So I hope our Seahawks will take that away. I cannot thank you enough, Trustee Agrawal, for spending time with us today and sharing with our students, like I said, tidbits from your own experiences, but really, truly just how you got to where you are. And I'm sure that very much has resonated with a lot of our students watching. So truly, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for what you do in putting this program together. I can tell you, right, communication is a tough thing to pull off remotely when none of us are together, right? And love the I get this wrong, the credenza, that cabinet behind you, right? I think it's
my
absolutely
hutch, yeah.
your hutch, absolutely. It's absolutely perfect, and love the warmth that you bring to this conversation. And I would encourage any student, right, that wants to, if you see me, or quite frankly any of the leadership on on campus, please stop us, say hello. Right, you're the why as to why we do things, and so we would be thrilled to know you better. So thank you.
Absolutely. I love that. So you heard it, Seahawks. They are available to you. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you all very soon. And as always, feel free to check out the survey link in our description below so you can give us feedback about today's program. Have an awesome day. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.